Hopefully I can get out of here.
The cash registers have been working overtime today as local malls and stores fill with eager shoppers willing to battle the crowds to get a head start on their holiday shopping.
The bargains, this is my first time out coming like this, and the bargains were worth it.
Marlene Diver says she's been out since 6 this morning, and her hard work has paid off. By midday, she finished all of her Christmas shopping. But not everyone expects to be that successful.
Just something to do and kind of exciting because it's always busy and crowded, and my mother-in-law thinks I'm crazy.
And with so many shoppers trying to pick out that perfect gift, crazy is a pretty good word for it.
It's been really crazy. There's tons of people coming in and out, and it's just really packed.
Retailers certainly aren't complaining about the crowds.
As far as I'm concerned, perfect. It's a lot better than slow.
But all the action can tire even the most dedicated shoppers and people like Dana Amundsen, who was designated the official package carrier for his wife and daughter while they hit the sales racks.
It'll be great right up until the money runs out. So, no, I don't mind. I'm just looking for an available bench right now.
No? Does anyone want to say? Be brave? How about you? How did you 100 pennies?
Yeah.
Oh, how'd you get 100 pennies?
I don't know.
You got them where?
And I eBay.
Watching on TV, and I've been following Michelle Lee with her story, and it touched me a lot. And I thought my girls just were very interested, and we thought, what a great way to do something for somebody else.
Oh, Sunny, I was like, oh! Cool.
That's a good girl. I'm going to let you guys...
Amtrak is really getting a great deal of publicity, and we thank you, Santa Claus, for being here. Let's go and enjoy ourselves over at the Starlight. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
This is actually his wedding day here.
Tim Hutchinson can tell a lot of stories about his former brother-in-law, Donald Blum, the man accused of murdering 19-year-old Katie Poyer earlier this year. But with so many stories and so many requests to tell them, Hutchinson decided to save his breath. He put his past with Blum on videotape and then on the internet, selling his tapes to online buyers.
Personally, I really don't care if any of these get sold. To be quite honest, I really don't care. I'm making it available because of the demand. There's a phenomenal demand for this type of information.
Hutchinson says the orders reached the hundreds within a week, but a sudden illness changed his ability to fill the orders, and so he changed his website. The new online ad said only 20 tapes would be produced. The price, $2,500 each, with proceeds going to charity.
No, it's not about money. It's not. I don't want to profit off of Donald. I don't want anything to do with that guy.
Patrick Poyer, the victim's brother, disagrees.
Oh, this guy's trying to make a buck.
Only one day after our interview, we checked Hutchinson's website again and were surprised by what we found.
The video ad is gone. Hutchinson has closed the site and closed the window of opportunity he saw for sharing his wealth of stories about Donald Blum with interested buyers. In Duluth, Jana Katsuyama, News 6.
Paul, that we are and will continue to be a dumping ground for sex offenders because we have programs within the community that help these people.
Programs like the Misabi Work Release, which helps sex offenders re-enter the community after prison. The mayor and other city officials are concerned that criminals from other parts of the state are being shipped into Duluth.
There is only 3 or 4 sites in the state that have sex offender work release programs.
Okay.
Just because. And we've been pushing hard legislatively to get the legislature to fund more sites.
Both the mayor and Chief Lyons wrote to the State Department of Corrections last year, asking them to take action. But the state's response didn't satisfy the mayor.
I think there has to be a major, strong commitment on the part of the state to say, look, if they come from another county, that they really shouldn't be living in Duluth, and they need to take extra efforts to try to get them back into their communities.
But Chief Lyons says the state is making some effort.
Judging by how few we've had in the last several months, I think it's they've taken our advice and are trying to find other ways to do it.
Until the state takes action, local police must rely on a notification program which informs the community about sex offenders living in Duluth. But with each new offender who settles here, police say they need more community help.
This is a police department of the city of Duluth admitting that we don't have enough police officers on the street to watch these offenders 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We simply don't have the ability to do that any more than we have the ability to make sure somebody doesn't break into that gas station or that bank or anywhere else. So we're looking for the public to recognize that this person's been identified as a high-risk offender, to give us a call, to be extra eyes and ears.
In Duluth, Jana Katsuyama, News 6.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Science and fun may not be words you normally put together until now.
Here, open it again. She's sneezing on you.
I'm looking at a human flea.
From interactive exhibits designed to show you what bodies you just might find living in your own.
It says infestation or whatever occurs by contact with bedding or clothing.
We want kids to think science is fun. We want kids to want to explore the world around them.
We're trying to find cells.
In this lab, kids can scrape off their own cheek cells and examine them under a microscope.
It's really fun, so then you can actually see what's inside you.
Fun and educational.
You have fun and you get smart at the same time.
You learn, yeah.
You learn and have fun at the same time.
And that goes for grown-ups too. The new Omni Theater boasts the only convertible dome roof in the country. Of course, the dinosaurs are back, with twice as much space as before and more realistic habitats.
It's a lot more user-friendly.
Plus, look for more places to eat or simply sit. And even more importantly,
we have 650% more restrooms. And let me tell you, that was the #1 suggestion from the old museum.
Always, the new museum hopes to keep people coming back for another 90 years.
I like this one better than the old one because this one is more interesting and it's more fun.
Want to grab the other end? You can.
His dad needs to get smacked. Oh, dang, you don't want to walk?
It feels pretty good because I know that a bed really makes us sleep a whole lot different.
I think it's fantastic. It's a great opportunity for us as a community partner, as a corporate partner in the community, to give back to the community in which we're able to serve.
Oh, dang, you don't want to walk?
With any of the bars in the city of Superior. The state planning on returning to Chicago.
I'm going to school in DuPage County, DuPage Community College.
The court must consider the nature of the offense.
Under which he has failed to appear in court matters would enter a plea of not guilty to count 3 and not guilty to count 4. Count 2 on its face is duplicitous and in violation of the 8th Amendment.
Is that open, Jim?
Citing massive pretrial publicity and overwhelming community participation in searches and memorial services, Blom's lawyers said it would be extremely difficult to find impartial jurors. The prosecution contends that this case has received equal media attention throughout the state. Blom's lawyers also asked that Blom's September 8th confession to kidnapping and killing Katie Poyer should not be allowed in trial. They said such statements can't legally be used when they're made as part of plea negotiations. But the prosecutor argued that Blom gave the confession voluntarily to authorities separately from his plea bargain discussions. Barbara Riles, News 6.
work on this. We're going to make sure that everything's fine come the year.
This is across the financial institution industry here in Duluth. Banks and credit unions have worked together. Your money is safe. You've got an aggressive regulator working out there, and your $100,000 of insurance from the federal government is there now. It will be there in January as well.
Well, we have about 150 additional people that are coming in for the rollover, various locations around the system.
All of them are ready. There is absolutely no reason to worry. There's not going to be a problem with any of these functions, any of these services that are being provided.
Spam can be a real pain in the neck. Just like at home, advertisers have found a market and we're getting more and more unsolicited junk mail. But when the mail turns nasty, it can have serious consequences.
Very often they just say, here, check out this site. So if you click on the link that's in the email, it can take you to a pornographic site, which can be very disconcerting to an employee or personally offensive.
No one knows why some people get targeted for pornographic or offensive spam, but once you're on one list, your email address often gets passed around and you end up on other spam lists.
Some people are very sensitive to receiving offensive messages on their email across the internet. Some of it can be extremely disturbing.
There are things you can do to try to block unwanted email, but none is very effective.
There is very little that you can do to actually block incoming email because the email providers or the people that send out this unsolicited email will send it from multiple different addresses.
And not only can spam be upsetting, when you get pornographic messages at work, it can seriously decrease employee productivity.
If an employee has to spend time either reading unsolicited email or even taking the time to delete it, they're not doing their job, they're not doing their work.
And there's another issue that's just come to light. Companies that provide email service for their employees could be held liable for emotional distress to employees who continually receive offensive email.
Within the scope of their employment, they have to go online. And if you have to go online and you're getting this garbage, it can be very upsetting. I think an employer could possibly be found liable for that kind of information coming across the internet into an employee's terminal.
But it's a complicated problem. Computer experts say there is no effective way of completely blocking spam. It's a problem that has the experts baffled, and it's getting worse every day. In Duluth, Barbara Riles, News 6. Computer experts call it spam. It's unwanted, unsolicited email, and it's a problem that's growing by leaps and bounds. While most of it is simple advertising, some of it can be offensive.
Some of those products can be pornographic in nature, and they do arrive in your email box, and not always is it easy to identify.
If the headline is blatant, it's easy to just delete the message without opening it. But often the headline is a simple greeting. Like this email, the headline looks harmless enough. It simply says, "Hello, get ready." But when you open it up, it's advertising hidden cameras in girls' locker rooms and showers. Others have attachments with blatant pornography, and many of these are being sent to people's homes.
Especially at home, you need to be very careful that you're reading your children's email, that you're taking a look at every single email that comes in and realizing the potential that it may actually be spam.
Besides overseeing your children's email, there are other steps you can take that might help to reduce spam. Filters can be somewhat effective. You put in key words, and when those words appear in an email headline, the message is electronically deleted. But direct marketers are on to that and often deliberately avoid that type of word in their headline. You can try changing your internet provider, but experts say they're all getting hit equally with spam. One thing you can do is avoid responding to spam because that only alerts the sender they've targeted a real person, encouraging them to send more messages and potentially having your web address passed on to other spam lists. Don't sign up with companies that promise to remove your name from spam lists. Most of these companies, the experts say, are owned by spammers looking to increase their lists. And don't post anything to mailing lists or public chat forums. These sites are regularly scanned by spammers. The biggest problem in blocking unwanted email is that the laws are all in the spammers' favor, and Congress has been hesitant to change that.
The concern I have is limitation on our most precious freedom, and that is the freedom of speech, even though it is disagreeable, even though it is sometimes unwanted, unasked for. What are the boundaries? And that is something that's going to take some very careful, thoughtful consideration.
There are several bills under consideration, but Congressman Oberstar says none is moving quickly. In the meantime, if you're getting heavily spammed at work, tell your supervisor. Your employer has a duty to at least try to block it. In Duluth, Barbara Riles, News 6.
Merry Christmas.
Hockey is not for the meek, and while many players don't like the idea, most organized hockey leagues require facial protection. Some require full face shields, others permit half shields. Though there's evidence that full shields protect faces better than the half shield, some feel the full shields might increase the risk of concussions or neck injuries, either by fostering more aggressive play or by altering how the head rotates when hit.
The concerns that people had that using full face shields might cause other types of injuries was not borne out in our study. And in fact, when we looked at the concussions, the people wearing half shields ended up missing more time, suggesting that the concussions they had were in fact more severe. So you've got a big upside with no downside with using a full face shield.
Canadian Intercollegiate Hockey provides an excellent playing field for the University of Calgary study. That's because half the collegiate divisions in Canada require only half shields, while the other half mandates full face shields. More than 600 players were followed for one season.
A stick can come up under the face shield, hit the eyebrow.
The study was headed by sports medicine specialist Dr. Willem Mewisa, along with medical student Brian Benson. As reported in the Journal of the American Medical Association, they found the risk of sustaining facial cuts was more than twice as great with half versus full shields, and dental injury risk was nearly 10 times greater with the half face shields. Many of the facial lacerations were around the eye, and most of the dental injuries occurred even when the players wore mouth guards. Brian Benson is a former collegiate player who suffered a temporary eye injury from a puck shot directly into his eye. Brian still plays intramural hockey in medical school.
Prior to the injury, I would wear the least amount of facial protection as possible. After the injury, it made me realize that you can prevent these injuries and potentially catastrophic injuries. So I do wear a full face shield now.
The researchers say their results apply only to collegiate hockey players and that further study is needed with players from other levels. They also say the only way to increase protection is to require it.
Hockey from minor leagues to pros and everywhere in between, players tend to wear what they're mandated to wear, and they'll wear as little as they have to.
Maureen Tallarico, News 6.
To Atlanta?
Right.
The rush is on to get home for the holidays. But even with the hustle and bustle at the Duluth International Airport, one thing is not overlooked: passengers' security.
Did you folks pack the luggage yourself? Has it been in your control the whole time?
To help watch over the busy airport, there's a new $120,000 camera system.
And it goes from various stations. Right now we're looking at American Eagle ticket counter.
Airport Authority Director Ray Klazowski says they started installing the system a year ago, not because of any threat to the airport, but just to keep up with a growing traffic hub that's moving into the new millennium.
So we can zoom in fairly tight on a particular point of interest. We'll take it out onto the roadway. There's a car coming up the road. We'll pick him up.
12 cameras can focus on almost any part of the airport, inside or outside. Before, the airport was only patrolled by security guards on foot.
You can see our security guard making his patrol.
We were reactive, and now we're able to be more proactive when it comes to security. And of course, that's very important, and that's my job.
The high-tech camera system is especially helpful right now. The airport security put out a memo just Wednesday, reminding everyone to be extra aware during this holiday travel season.
We've increased our vigilance, of course, and talked to all our tenants on the airport, and also the people that work for the Duluth Airport Authority, to be more vigilant, to watch out for unusual acts or something like that, and just keep a good eye out.
Now, guards are more watchful of cars stopped outside and bags left unattended.
Now our security force is more intent on moving people along. If there's an unattended bag, they're more intent on picking up right away. As far as checking the bags through the security and the X-ray machines, that always operates at a high level of intensity.
Even with the heightened security concerns at the Duluth airport and airports across the country, passengers say they're just happy to get home to their families safely this time of year. In Duluth, Kim Kaiser, News 6.
Yesterday I drew up the templates and got those ready. Came in this morning, cut them in. This is a half a block of ice, so we cut it up so I could get the 2,000 out of 2 blocks of ice. And we make some cuts and start knocking pieces out so you can start coming up with the shape. And this is my third zero of the day. It's made with purified water, and there's no bubbles in it, there's no air in it, and it's not harder or soft or anything like that, but it's 100% clear. There's no snow in the center. Oh, the ice itself, it melts about 1/2 inch an hour. And the kitchen isn't really too warm today, so it isn't too bad. And when it's thick like this, it doesn't, when you start making wings and birds' heads and stuff, then you have to work faster because you got a little less ice to work with. I don't believe in stress and whatever it is, but I find that I can take it out on take it out on the ice. And I'm going to make a dragon tomorrow that we're going to use for our centerpiece downstairs in the food area. This is going to go up against the wall. And these we'll have ready to go at probably about 8 o'clock on Friday night. We'll get them out, and then about 8:30 the dragon will go out, and the one will be out front early because that'll stay up all night. So I'll probably have into all the pieces maybe 5 hours. Well, that's great.
Right. This is a full pallet of water, and we might go through a pallet a week of water, and we're going through about a pallet an hour right now.
Right. Champagne's been flying this week. We're constantly stocking this section.
Center open tonight. If you want to go down that list, I can.
We were sliding on the grass because there's a really steep hill.
No, I've never been here before. No.
What do you think of it?
Oh, it's kind of neat. Yeah, it's kind of neat. And we're glad we got a good day, though. It could be kind of cold out here, but it's a nice day.
Right.
It was the final countdown to the year we call Y2K, a time of transition that threatened to render 2,000 years of technological advancement almost useless, leaving the world to watch nervously as the new year traveled across the globe.
Indications are that major national infrastructure systems in countries are functioning with minimal or no difficulties.
But the new year came and went with almost no sign of catastrophe. Stoplights worked, phones still rang, and no bombs blew up.
It's been a long wait for nothing to happen.
And an expensive wait. Mayor Gary Doty says millions of dollars were spent to get vital systems ready for the Y2K rollover.
For this particular event, I pulled together a committee just about a year ago, an external committee of people in the community dealing with all the various systems, whether it's water and gas or electric utilities, nursing homes, hospitals, banking systems, and they all worked together and compiled a report, and they would report back irregularly that they were ready to go.
Meanwhile, the public also prepared, buying things like extra water, food, and batteries, just in case fears of a widespread power outage came true. But it took only minutes after the clock struck midnight to see that the preparations wouldn't be needed after all.
The last report I got just a couple of minutes ago is that there have been absolutely no problems.
At least no computer problems. For the people celebrating Y2K, there were a few minor glitches.
There were absolutely no Y2K problems. I tell you, the only truth that I got to say here is that the only Y2K problem I'm having is getting through to a cab company to get over Superior so we can continue the party. You know, it's the year 2000.
In Duluth, Craig Sleeman, News 6.
My New Year's resolution this year is to quit gambling and go back to my wife and stop drinking.
What I'm going to do is, I always read daily readings, and our daily bread is one of my favorite. In the beginning of the year, they always have the Bible in 1 year, and it tells you where to read each and every day, so that by the end of the year, you've read the entire Bible. And I always wanted to do it, and today I started.
My New Year's resolution for the new millennium is to brush my teeth 3 times a day.
Gear loaded into a truck, they head onto the lakes, to small villages of anglers carrying out a northern ritual. But each year, there are stories of a good day fishing gone bad. Last week, one fisherman's vehicle plunged through the ice on Rice Lake. 51-year-old Timothy Davis of Duluth died. For the most part, ice on the lake is nearly a foot thick, but thickness varies, and there's never a guarantee.
I will never tell anyone to drive on the lake because ice conditions vary day to day. I suggest anyone that wants to go out ice fishing, check the ice conditions, check the local resorts, check your bait shops, and they'll advise you as the ice conditions, but be very careful.
Dale Ebel's job puts him on the lakes daily. Still, he says he's nervous to be out there. He points out ice depth is not consistent, and worse, it's ever changing.
Ice is never uniform from one end to the other. You have springs in the lakes, you have dams in the lake that have a fast-flowing water, rivers that enter the lakes, causing fast-flowing movement of water where the ice conditions are very thin. That's why it's imperative that you know the ice conditions around you because they do change.
In Kenosha Township, Jason Rice, News 6.
I was in there for over 3 months. I don't know, you probably can't imagine it. No TV, no radio, locked in solitary confinement. I mean, no, nothing. I wasn't even seeing another human being, and I got to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. I could not. I snapped. I was crying. I was shaking.
But today, Judge Gary Pagliacetti ruled Blum knew the consequences when he gave his statement, and everything he said can be used in his trial. In this 56-page confession, Blum talked about kidnapping Katie Poyer from a Moose Lake convenience store, then took her to his vacation property where he killed her and burned her body. In allowing the statement to be used, the judge noted how Blum's attorneys, including his federal public defender, warned him several times whatever he might say could be used against him. Yet Blum went ahead and spoke to investigators.
Loud coughs, sore throats, and aching muscles. They're all a sure sign that the flu bug is making a return visit to thousands of ill-fated Northlanders. But this year, doctors say the flu strain appears to be more dangerous than usual.
We've seen a lot of pneumonia, much more pneumonia than we normally see here, and I attribute that to the flu.
And while pneumonia can be dangerous to just about anyone it strikes, people who are young or elderly can often end up in the hospital, or even worse.
One lady actually died at home because of this illness.
Because this year's flu bug has been so vicious, doctors are urging people not to take any chances. They say early detection is the key to getting better.
So I would urge those people to go see their family physician on an early basis so that the influenza can be treated and hopefully stave off complications of the flu.
And doctors also say that the best way to deal with this year's bug is to take it lying down, but not without a fight. A recent study in the New England Journal of Medicine suggested that the best way to get yourself healthy again is with a big bowl of every mom's favorite cure-all and a touch of a few modern herbs.
Chicken noodle soup is always helpful. And one of the things that we suggest, if you do come down with it, you can try some echinacea.
In Virginia, Craig Zleeman, News 6.
What if you could take classes exactly when you wanted to, on your own time? Such flexibility is the key, many say, to furthering one's education while going on with your normal busy life.
Joanne Barton is a woman with a mission to raise a family and earn a degree in accounting. After her boys leave for school, Joanne goes to class in her basement. She's one of a growing number of students choosing the convenience of online education.
So usually I'll get them off to school, come down, get online, see what's due.
Universities across the country are developing online partnerships to bring more students virtual classrooms. Susan Alvalar, a working mom who travels on the job and lives 4.5 hours from the closest college, earned almost her entire master's degree online.
Anywhere is a classroom.
Classmates and teachers leave emails and talk in chat rooms. Dr. Diane Blomberg, who teaches both online and on campus, says she's more personally involved with her cyber students.
People are more willing to communicate in a very personal or self-disclosive way online as opposed to face-to-face.
Some say it takes more self-discipline in going to campus at scheduled times. But for Diane, Susan, and Joanne, it's worth it.
Hybrid classes are also extremely popular, where part of the class is on campus, the other part online. Will cyber education phase out traditional campuses? Most say no, but that it is a valuable option.
You know, I heard that you got a raise. 64% of Minnesotans, 50%. So I'm not saying that people in international follow.
It makes me feel good because there are a lot of people, I think, that are paying for drugs that could be having help with them, you know, because I know I did. I did for years. Didn't know any better.
Well, we say it helps some people, it doesn't help enough. It's inadequate for all the people that need prescription drug relief.
We have Carol here as our CEO of our Minnesota HMO. And we have Marie here as our retail pharmacist. Profits of the drug manufacturers.
Terms of a negative declaration. And let me just add that, you know,
I'd rather push for a little further research.
Communications, just want to make sure.
This is what one hurdle of among many. I mean, we've already done all the documentation that would support, so we should be able to just fill out the applications, pay the permit fees, complete the construction plans, and then move forward to construction.
Statutorily sufficient environmental information in this matter.
Meeting is that this was put on the legislative agenda to ask.
While we've been working here, I've also been making a few notes and some changes that the commissioner.
I have grown up on, not only as
It started like any other game. The UWS women's basketball team taking a minute to get focused before hitting the court. But this game might have been one of their toughest yet. Their first time to play since the loss of a teammate in a car accident, with another teammate recovering in the hospital. But the Yellow Jackets decided they were there to concentrate on the game instead of the team's tragedy.
It's hard because you can tell if the old spark isn't there, but they're trying, and I mean, by the score you can tell they're winning, and it's just great that they're doing this, both for Jessica and for Kayla.
20-year-old Kayla Mathias died a week ago in a car crash. Her passenger and teammate Jessica Reed was hospitalized. This game, their jerseys were laid out to show their importance to the team. Longtime fans say it was a touching symbol of their determination both to remember their friends and to get on with the game.
Probably the best thing for them is to get on and to do what they're doing right now, and they're 10, 11 points ahead. They've been ahead most of the game. I was surprised that they would come out that strong, and they've done very well.
The team did work hard. And as the clock ran down, they secured a victory for themselves and for all of their family and friends.
They really stepped up. There's a small team and lots of minutes for a few girls, and they really stepped up and did well. Everyone played way above their heads tonight, and it just showed their team spirit.
Coach Sandy Eilertson says they couldn't forget what had happened, but they couldn't let it stop them.
I mean, it was on everybody's minds, but we knew that we were out there to do something. You know, yes, we miss them, you know. Jess is getting better, you know, that's what we're rallying around. Kayla was with us tonight.
Perhaps the truest sense of team spirit.
They may not physically have been here with us, but they were here. And that's what we need to know, okay? It's a team. And that's the whole team that played tonight. Every single person played tonight.
In Superior, Kim Kaiser, News 6.
Nothing but the flu shot can adequately protect us from getting the flu, but eating healthy helps, and eating certain types of food can help even more.
You can't go wrong by eating vegetables and fruits, but the experts say there are some foods that can go even further in helping to build up your flu defenses, like nuts. Brazil nuts each contain about 100 micrograms of selenium, which helps your body produce more antibody cells that can combat colds. Another immune booster is red peppers. They contain capsaicin.
Basically a chemical that's going to help the body to have a better immune response against viral infections or other infections.
And chicken noodle soup works when you already have a cold, but to prevent that cold in the first place, crack open a can of tomato soup. The lipocene in tomatoes acts as an antioxidant to help the body's white blood cells resist the free radicals that weaken your immune system.
If you take tomato soup before you catch the flu, you are going to have a better response with more antibodies.
Then there's yogurt. Eating a container of yogurt a day reduces the incidence of coughing and sneezing. Something else you should know? A very low fat intake, less than 10% of your total calories, actually limits the body's ability to battle infections.
Your fat intake should be about 25% of your total calories. And one more thing, drinking sports drinks during vigorous exercise may actually help you fight the flu. They contain carbohydrates that prevent the level of cortisol, an immune-suppressing hormone, from rising during your workout.
The more Minnesotans find out how much of their personal health information is being released, the more concerned about it they would be.
But it isn't just health records lawmakers want to protect. Last June, Attorney General Mike Hatch sued U.S. Bank after he learned they were selling customer information to telemarketers. Under the proposed law, customers would have to agree to allow the bank to share their financial details with anyone else.
It's a lot different than when records were kept in shoeboxes. That's not the case anymore.
Which is why lawmakers will also tackle do not call options for telemarketers, a ban on licensing information disclosure, and written consent before telemarketers can use credit cards. Attorney General Hatch, who admits he stumbled onto the privacy issue when he sued U.S. Bank, says electronic and human eyes now pry into almost everything we do.
It is not just simply the right not to be bugged. You'll hear people say that. It's the right to define yourself. If you have liberty in a community or in a country, the important part of the exercise.
There's a lake behind them, Little Sand Lake and stuff. They haven't shown up on Sure. Think so?
If you have a bad winter and you have 2 and 3 in a row, that can hurt somebody to a point where they might have to go for some aid or do something with the business, because 3 years in a row is a long time to go without a good season.
That was the word from Viking loyalists last night at the airport. But what does the boss think today?
There.
Denny Green's job, Tim's job. I'm very pleased with all of the staff, the football side and the non-football side.
There's Red McCombs there celebrating.
Can Red McCombs really be that happy with a team that can't quite seem to live up to expectations?
Well, we've got to have a team that can wade through these playoffs, and obviously up the last 2 years we haven't been able to do that.
Purple is a color of mourning at Winter Park in Eden Prairie today. No Viking news worth tacking onto the bulletin board. No need to lace up the practice shoes or scrape the snow from the practice field. No rush to do the laundry this week. There isn't anything left to hang that purple pride on this year. The Viking boat is in winter dry dock.
Danny Green is obviously an offensive coach, but he really needs to work on that defense.
Fans arriving at Twin Cities International from St. Louis today think the offseason should be used to rebuild the defense.
You got to get a little bit better defense, I think. That's what everybody says, defense wins championships. So.
Look at this formation here. You see they have...
The owner admits the team's deflated hopes could hurt efforts to build a new stadium.
Well, it could. It shouldn't, because the stadium issue is a very vital issue. It is an essential issue. The Vikings cannot exist in the Metrodome.
Are the fans worried?
Yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit, I think. I think usually when that issue comes around, and it helps when the team wins.
He's the guy that sticks the game plan in the back of his pants.
I hope not. I think we need a new stadium.
I'd like to see a schedule. After seeing the Trans World Dome, it's just a marvelous facility.
Quite often we have a large number of underage people, and we also have our normal traffic from that area, the patrons of the establishments. And so the intermingling of those two is what causes me some real concern as far as safety issue.
He's a fantastic little boy, and I miss him.
My first response is, money shouldn't be an issue here. I need to find my child. And
well, I think we want to have a fund set up that our rural communities, our rural law enforcement community knows that they can tap into, so that immediately after an abduction, nobody has to worry about whether the resources will be there to do the job.
Trying to catch. We need this badly. Thank you very much.
Jim.
Different because Kelly was never, so I think his... He just put 60 miles...
I mean, really, what I think one of the biggest issues is that Mr. Van Bronckhorst said that he had permission to attend a different church service that had more children present, and the pastor testified today that that's absolutely not the case, that he was not approached by Mr. Van Bronckhorst for permission, he did not give him permission to change services, and he never would have considered giving him permission. And so we had the contrast of the pastor's testimony and Mr. Van Bronckhorst's, and
Show me how pretty you're going to smile on the ice. Oh, yeah, that's good.
It all comes down to a last-minute pep talk, lacing up the skates, and a final dab of mascara. Before hours of practice,
I want to see your spread eagle again. There you go. All right.
Leads up to just a couple of minutes performing on the ice. These girls are just a small part of the 580 people competing this weekend at the deck. A chance to get dressed up and show off some of their moves, if they can overcome a few butterflies first. 12-year-old Laurel Eaton from Superior gets a few calming tips from her coach before her first competition this season.
Try and sit back and just ease into everything nicely with your arms. Take your time, shoulders down, chin up. You nervous? Very good.
But soon, her turn is here.
From the Superior Figure Skating Club, Laurel.
And she's floating around the ice.
It's kind of scary because you're the only one out there and everybody's watching you.
For many of these girls, it's the first time they've tried out tricky jumps and turns with so many watching eyes.
It was a little nerve-wracking because I've never done those jumps in competition, but I landed them and I had fun out there. It was really fun.
Coaches say they're just as anxious as the ones out on the ice.
I get nervous just standing here watching, and I hate it because I can't do anything about it.
But in this competition, winning isn't everything. It's about having a good time and building confidence.
We're not a qualifying competition. We want the kids to come and have fun, and we want as many kids as possible to feel good about their competing.
She did a very nice job today. I'm very proud of her.
In Duluth, Kim Kaiser, News 6.